Konnichiwa, Nihon Cricket Pod Yokoso. Welcome to the Japan Cricket Podcast, fresh from sunny Oman. Well, half of us are in Oman anyway. I am. It's hot, it's dry. Todd, you're back in sunny Melbourne. Is it sunny Melbourne?
It is sunny and windy, a bit warm today, about 28 or 27. So hello to everyone. But yeah, the weather is starting to warm up here, which is great. But it's obviously not as hot as it is in Oman.
Yeah, I can tell you now, mate. It's as we flew in, you got a pretty good idea of how hot it was going to be just by looking at the landscape. It's very brown. Um, Not a lot of greenery, at least not where we are. I'm told there is some greenery if we head further down the further down towards the bay, but I haven't been able to get out too much so far. So it's been yeah, very much time in the hotel and between here and the ground. What I will say about Oman, a lot more mountainous than I was expecting. I was very much thinking it was going to be sort of flat, sandy, desert type environment. But actually, we are surrounded by mountains all the time, and the cricket ground is quite spectacular. I imagine it's the closest you can get to playing at Newlands in Cape Town. It's just got these phenomenal mountains either side of it. We were lucky enough to be training there around sunset, and then we played our first game around sunset time as well. So you just like the whole mountains just light up pink as the sun goes down. It's I actually went up to the spectator area and climbed up to the very top and got a couple of snaps from up there, which was cool. Maybe I'll share those on the Tran Cricket Podcast Instagram page. But yeah, it was cool. And the facility is wonderful, but it's been pretty full on start.
What have you been up to, Alan? Training,
Yeah, so
game,
we
one
flew
game.
in. We had the bulk of the squad meet in Doha. Just the two boys from Perth arrived into Muscat about half an hour after us. They actually came through immigration at the same time as us, so it worked out incredibly well. Hopped on the bus, got to the hotel around lunchtime on day one. Had a bit of an informal chat that afternoon with the boys. My day one was pretty low key. Day two, what do we do? I've got my schedule here. I'm trying to read it. Yeah, day two, we put the boys into the gym. Devon gave them a bit of a thrashing from 10 a.m. So half an hour, just blow off the cobwebs. Then we had the team induction with the ICC. So just your anti-corruption briefing and a little bit of background about what's going to be going on. Then myself and Kendall headed to the ground for captain's photos, which we put up on the Instagram page, and then we had official training. In the end, from about 6:30, we had headshots for all the boys, followed by official training was sort of 6:30 to 9:30. So that was good at the ground. Got a bit of a feel for the place, and then the next day, again, Devon put the boys through their paces around lunchtime that time, and then a bit of a team meeting, and then straight into the Samoa game yesterday. A bit of a review of the Samoa game in the morning. We did that around midday before we headed to a place called Bausha, which has been organised by Sabarish Ravichandran. He's had a guy he used to work with, used to work over here, who knows a guy who owns some nets. So it was a bit roundabout, but it was very much in the middle of the desert. There was a paddle court, a tennis court, a football court, football field, and then these random sort of 5 lanes of cricket nets. So we did that at 2 o'clock. So the idea behind that was our game today is at 2:30, and obviously our games in the tournament are both at 2:30. So it's hot at that time, and kind of felt we needed to experience it a little bit. Although I think the coaches were a little bit miffed because they had their wangers and they melted in the sun. So Duncan had to go and put his in the ice box in the esky because it was starting to fall apart. So that gives you an idea of how hot it is. But it's pretty funny. We've got Lachlan Stevens is with us, a former Victoria and Western Australia coach. And he very much feels like he's walking around in an Indiana Jones movie and keeps making comments that he's looking for the Ark of the Covenant. So that gives you an idea of the landscape and what it's like. The net session yesterday, it was bizarre, just surrounded by these mountains. And we arrived at the net session and we were supposed to be training for 2 hours. And we quickly decided that rather than having two nets for 2 hours, we'd have four nets for 1 hour and then got out of there. So I think it was worthwhile. But Yeah, not a lot of time to do anything. I haven't really been able to get out and see the town. We had a couple of hours 2 days ago, before the Samoa game, where myself and a couple of the coaches were able to get into Mutra, which is the local town. There's a big harbour there, a huge boat in the middle of the harbour, which apparently belongs to the Sultan. And there's a little souk there, which is kind of cool. Lots of people offering you Rolexes and sunglasses. Um, and we had a little like a yeah drink down there, just an ice cream yogurt drink of some kind. Um, and yeah, it was nice, but it was hot. I think a couple of the guys, I think some of the players got down there last night. I saw a few photos on social media. So I think at night time people come out a bit more. There's not a lot of people walking around in the day. Even when we arrived at the net session yesterday, the guy was like, "Why are you coming here at 2 o'clock?" Like people come here at sort of 7 p.m. I was like, "Yeah, that would make more sense." But as I said, we had to prepare the boys a little bit for what's coming. So yeah, it's been interesting.
And the what's the ground situation there? Just the one ground where all the games are at, or is it two, or what's the go?
No, so the facility is fantastic, I have to say. I mean, they hosted the Emerging Asia Cup, I think, a year ago, and I think they've hosted World Cup games here. So there's two grounds kind of side by side. So it's not totally dissimilar to the SICG in that there's the main oval, which has all the changing rooms and everything. And then behind there, they've got their indoor center. Their indoor center is spectacular. Like it very much reminds me of Lords when I go in. Um, but we're not allowed to use it because it's really expensive. So we haven't been able to actually get in there. But and then they've got a second field just across. There's no real spectator area for the second field. So from what I understand, the morning games are all being played on ground two, and then the 2:30 and 7 p.m. games are all being played on ground one. Um, and then behind ground two is where there are some synthetic nets, um, which are we used a little bit um, pre-game against Samoa, just because we got to the ground a bit early, and the ground two was being used for official training, and there was a game on ground one. PNG were playing on ground one. We arrived at the ground and PNG was 32 for 9, which was a bit of a surprise. And so we then used those synthetic nets for a little bit, but for the official training, they put cages up over the turf nets on the cricket grounds. So we were able to have a bit of time in the nets and a bit of time on the field. So we've got another session like that on what day? Tuesday next week, I think.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds like it's all happening over there in Oman. We'll still want to do a
Yes.
quick review. Just want a quick pod here. So we're just going to run through the practice match uh, on the 2 days ago, which was Japan versus Samoa. So Japan won the toss and had a bowl. Samoa batting first, got 159 for five. Uh, Bowling information was we actually used 10 bowlers, so everyone bowled bar the keeper by the looks of things, 2 overs each. Pick of the bowlers was I think it was Charlie Harahin, sorry, with 2 for 5 off his 2 overs, and then one each to Abdul Samad, Benjamin Ito, and Makoto Taniyama. How'd that go, Alan? How'd the bowling go?
Yeah, so it was interesting. So we were able to play 15 in the game. So I think only Wataru Miyauchi and Loki Yamamoto like didn't battle bowl, so everyone else did something. We gave all 10 guys in the squad who do bowl a chance to bowl. Everyone bowled 2 overs. That was all pre-arranged, that it was going to happen. And obviously we had to adjust a little bit. We wanted to win the game. We know that we're up against some very strong teams in this tournament, and we wanted to at least make sure that we put Samara away. But they're a much better side than their ranking suggests. Darius Vista, their opening batter, is a seriously good player. Although there are rumors that he might have hurt himself in the field yesterday, so there's a bit of concern around that. He didn't bat in their chase yesterday. That's something to keep an eye on. But yeah, the power play was a worry. They were 50 odd off the power play, and I mean they're big boys, those Samoans, and they hit the ball miles. So I think they hit 9 sixes in their innings. So it was a bit of concern, but then Charlie bowled a pretty good over in the sixth, and he knocked over Vista with the last ball of the power play, and that just opened the door. Although Ben Malata came in at three, and I haven't seen Ben since 2015, so he's really one of the old boys. And Alex Shilai Patmore said he played against him in Auckland in 2012. So him and Dan Burgess. So there's two guys in that side who have really been around for a long, long time, which I think is really cool that they're back in the team and trying to help him. And they're good players, both of them. So the Samoan top four, top five, I suppose I should say top five because I think Ross Taylor came in at five. They're pretty accomplished players, but they do fall away a bit after that. And so Fragos, like Charlie came back on to bowl the, I can't remember, either the 16th or the 17th, and he bowled a wicket maiden. So at that point, we were pretty happy with where we were, but then their number, whoever came in at 7, I think, got a few away late. So 159 was, we felt probably we'd have liked to restrict them to probably maybe 15 to 20 less than that. But it was good for the guys just to blow off the cobwebs and have a chance to run around a bit. The fielding was pretty good. Declan Suzuki took an excellent catch at long on, right on the boundary. So really one of those ones where you have to judge it going high and make sure your foot you don't do a Trent Bolt and step on the rope. So he took that really well. We took pretty much all of our catches. We actually had a very big appeal for Darius Visser first ball of the game for a caught behind, which all the boys were pretty adamant was out, but umpire didn't give it, and so I think if that one had been given, then it might have been a few runs light. But obviously the big moment was Makoto Taniyama dismissing Ross Taylor as he went for a slog sweep. Great moment for Tanny. Great moment for the boys. A lot of the guys were pretty happy with that. So yeah, it's just a real shame it wasn't on a live stream because I think that would have been something to capture. That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, it must have been a great moment. Tiffany would have been pretty happy with himself. Makoto Taniyama bowling out Ross Taylor.
He was. He's very everyone was adamant that he should get a photo with his bunny afterwards, but Tanya was like, no, can't. I don't do that kind of thing. So I think a few other boys were keen for photos, but not Taniyama. It was funny. I was speaking to Emily O'Brien, the tournament director, last night. She was telling me that she did the tournament briefing, and she got 3 teams in the hotel room, just going through the anti-corruption stuff and everything. And at the end of the meeting, she asked the 3 team managers to stay behind when she was doing the Samoan one. She did have a quick chat with the manager. She's like, "You guys can all go." And she goes back to her desk and she's rummaging through her papers. And she looks up and there's still like 30 people in the room. She's like, "Guys, you can go. I only need the team managers." And it turned out everyone was just staying to get selfies with Ross Taylor. So that's the impact he's having with the star quality in the tournament, which is cool, And I hope he does go on to get some runs because he didn't get too many yesterday either. So he's feeling his way back in, but he seems very much, part of that group. We didn't spend a huge amount of time with them, and they're not in our hotel, but just from a quick chat with some of the guys, he seems to be enjoying himself. So hopefully he gets a few runs and can help him win a couple of games.
It's fantastic having Ross Taylor in the tournament. Just lifts the profile and hopefully bit more, gets to a few more people around the world. Ross Taylor's playing in the tournament. I know he said it was on the BBC when he announced that he was playing. So hopefully it puts some eyes on the tournament. So then Japan, the run chase. So Japan chased the runs down in 18.3 overs and 160 for 5. We had Kendall Katawaki Fleming 20, Abhishek Anand 25, Sabash Ravichandran 11. Isam Rahman's going well at the moment. He's got 50 off 31. Benjamin Ito going well too, 28 off 20. Charlie Harrahin's got 1 off 3. And Declan Suzuki was 16 off 10 not out. So must have been happy with the run chase.
Yeah, it was funny because I actually mentioned this in the team meeting. The way that we went about our power play was very, very different to theirs. Like we bowled a lot of dots in our power play, but they hit a lot of sixes. And so it felt like in our power play we weren't hitting a lot of sixes. I think we only hit 1. And it felt like we were behind. But then actually I looked at the score and they're almost exactly the same. I think we actually won the power play just. Abhishek and Andy came out, hit his first ball for 4 over cover, which showed really good intent. So for him, I think feeling comfortable in that opening role, it's a new partnership, and they tried it a bit in Sri Lanka, so I think that he's looking to stamp down and take possession of that opening berth. And the boys were going okay. Kendall didn't feel like he got a good decision. Didn't think he hit it going out, so that enabled other people to have a go. So Sabarish does his usual role coming in after the power play. Looked pretty good, but obviously didn't kick on. And then the big partnership was between Isam Rahman and Benjamin Ito Davis. Ben hit his first ball for 6 over mid wicket, which isn't really his style. So it was pretty cool to see that intent. And I asked him afterwards. He said, "I just the ball came. I just thought, well, this looks pretty nice." And he hit it straight over the top of his girlfriend. So he was pretty happy about that. Exactly over her head. So those two batted beautifully. They ran really hard. They ran a lot of twos. And I think that was the big difference between the two teams. The fielding, that's where Samoa probably could make some improvements. And for us, we're pretty athletic, and our activity rate was pretty high. We scored off a lot of balls, and that made the difference between the power that they have and the athletic ability that we have. Was like I say, probably the difference. It was really nice to see Declan Suzuki, obviously fresh from his stint in South Africa, where he's been working pretty hard on his power hitting. So for him to come out and slot one over the mid-wicket boundary early in his innings was good. It showed that he'd learned a few things whilst in Cape Town and Pretoria. So yeah, really happy with it. It wasn't really a done deal until one big over. I think the 17th we took sort of 15, 16 runs from it, and that kind of put the game to bed. But even with 3 overs to go, it was kind of in the balance. But in the end, managed to burst away. And the way Easton batted, I think for him to get a few runs and settle himself and feel comfortable in the team's been really important. He's a really confident guy, so I don't think he was particularly concerned. But I know that he'll feel better for having spent a bit of time in the Japan shirt and scored a few runs. So yeah, it was a pleasing outing.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the scorecard here. So Ravi Chandran, 4 for 1 out, 4 for 133. Then Ito was the next one, 3 balls later. So, I mean, sorry, what have we got here?
The fall of
Ravi
wickets was a bit off,
Chandran,
but
3 balls. And then, but he must have been pretty happy that, the guys recouped because it can go either way, especially if you lose
yeah,
too quickly.
definitely.
4 overs to go.
And any game that we win when Kendall Kalawaki Fleming doesn't make a ton of runs is always satisfying. It's nice seeing other guys stand up. And Ben and Easton, I think their partnership was 68 or 42 or something like that for the fifth wicket. So being able to, that top order now, that sort of top 5 or 6 looks pretty settled. Charlie's looking really good in the nets with the bat, and he's obviously contributing with the ball. So, and then you've still got guys like Dak and Rayo, who we probably want to see a bit more of, and we'll see. They might get a bit more of a go today. We'll see. Alex Shilai Patmore as well. There's a lot of ability with the bat, and we bat probably deeper than most teams in terms of sort of at the level we normally play. This is a level up, so we'll have to see how we match up. And today's going to be a great challenge for that. The UAE are one of the strongest teams. As I said, I think they made 169 against Papua New Guinea 2 days ago, and then in the end bowled them out for 50. So yeah, we're gonna have our work cut out today, but it's a warm-up game. It's a chance to see what the guys can do. It's a chance to see how we measure up against one of the tournament favourites.
Of course, game today, then next game next Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, it's a bit of a break. Thursday and Friday are our 2 games. So what day is it today? Sunday. So yeah, game today, and then a bit of a break. Whilst we sort of try and get ready, and we'll have the Kuwait Nepal game on the Wednesday, the day before us. So we'll be able to watch that, and they're the other 2 teams in our group. So it'll be good to be able to do a bit of research on them and see how they go against each other. And then, it's a little bit of an advantage probably for us that Q8 play 7 o'clock in the evening, and then they have to play us again at 2:30 the following day. So a pretty short turnaround for them. And having played the night game the other day, we didn't get back to the hotel until 11:30. So it does mess with your timings a little bit and your whole sort of body clock. So, yeah, it's something that we need to try and take advantage of. We'll take any little advantage we can get.
Take whatever you can get. That's right. So, all right, I think that's about it for this one. I might send through a little snippet tomorrow and recoup the game from today, or the next couple of days. Alan's got to run because he's got to run to breakfast. So we just want to
Yeah, I
do a
haven't had
short little
breakfast yet.
to update everyone on the warm-up game. So, unless you got anything else, Alan.
No, I am all done. Thank you very much, Toddy. Good to see you, and thanks to everyone for the support. The social media is being updated pretty regularly at the moment. There's plenty of places to go, to our Instagram, to our Facebook, to our X account. We're trying to get a lot of stuff up on all of those over these few days. So please do follow, comment, and cheer the boys on.
Thank you.